you are a new grad or you have one in your family, you're going to want to hear today's Money Monday advice on how to launch a successful career and financial success. Here with his top 5 tips for recent grads is financial planner Rob Wilson. And Rob, this is kind of the who, what, when, where, why, and how grads need.
Yeah, I figured that people were just graduating, they just got out of school, they're used to that type of framework when they had the right papers and things. So I figured I'd put it in that model so that they could understand a little bit easier.
Well, it's always a good way. I think that when I'm putting together a story, you cover all your bases. First of all, for this year's grads, I mean, how is the outlook? What's the economy like for them?
Well, fortunately, they're not graduating at a time where it's a recession or it's a huge financial crisis, but, you know, it's still not the greatest time to go out and get a job. So actually what we see is that the unemployment rate for college grads under 25 is roughly twice that of the overall unemployment rate. So, you know that young employees are having difficulty finding that perfect job out there.
Okay, so all the more reason to take advantage of these top 5 tips. Number 1, understand who you are working for.
That's exactly right. I think the idea of being an employee, like, that's gone, okay? I think you work for yourself, period. I think everybody needs to think of themselves as their own company. And if you think that way, it's going to guide your actions a lot differently. I think your client, you should view your boss actually as one of your clients. And what amazes me is that I see a lot of people and I talk to them and they're in a job where they don't like or they don't feel like they're making enough money, but I ask them, are they looking for something else? And they go, oh, no, because I feel a little bit weird about it. I feel like I'm cheating on my boss. And that's just a bad attitude to have. Your company is always looking for more people to employ. In the same way, you should always be looking for more opportunities to make more money and have a more fulfilling job. And so I think if you view yourself as your own company, you'll look for more opportunities.
I love that. Even if you have a good job, you are your boss. You got to take charge of it. And that's kind of the next one. Understand why you're working.
Yeah, in my opinion, look, it is about the money. And I know we talk about a lot of other things, but it's about the money. Your job is to go and make as much money as possible. You're trying to fulfill the lifestyle of your dreams. And this is going to give you the best opportunity to take care of yourself and to take care of your family. So having this as a goal isn't necessarily going to make you a better person, but you can't really help other people until your own needs are met and are satisfied. And so I think if you realize that that's your goal, and listen, I've said before that it's probably the race to $2.5 million, so that when you retire, you could probably pull out $100,000 a year and you'll be able to live a nice life. And so again, if you view your goal as a profit motive, I think that's going to guide your actions a lot differently.
Do you think college kids these days, though, maybe are being too picky for that just right job, or should they take a low-paying job to work their way up, you know, pay their dues?
Oh, sure. You have to start somewhere. So you're not going to come out, you know, advising CEOs and flying on private jets right away. So you do have to put in your dues. But I think, again, if you're thinking about how long it's going to take you to progress, how much you should be making, you're going to push yourself a little bit harder than if you weren't as worried about the money.
Don't get complacent with that salary that you start with. Okay, number 3, success will occur when you stop waiting for permission.
That's exactly right. Nobody's going to give you permission to be successful. This is not like school. Things are not just going to happen. You were in a very regimented structure when you were in school. There were courses, there were exams, you moved on to the next grade or the next year. Once you get out of school, that doesn't happen. So you've got to push. You've got to try to find opportunities for yourself to be successful, because nobody is going to just hand them to you.
Yeah, the boss isn't just going to often come to you and say, do you want a raise? You got to go to them.
You have to push it. And what also amazes me is that you got people who feel like they're not worthy or they're not qualified for certain things. And I'm asking them, even if you just came out of undergrad, you spent $80,000 on an education and you don't feel like you're qualified for this? And so people have to get a lot more confidence in what their abilities are and really push their limits.
Great. Okay, number 4, where you end up in life will be determined by the company you keep and the decisions you make.
That's exactly right. A famous motivational speaker named Jim Rohn says you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So you've got to think about who you're hanging around. If you want to be an entrepreneur, but you surround yourself with people who've only worked for other people their whole lives, and they're very risk averse, it's not going to give you that motivation to go start that company. And the decisions you make, don't go run out and buy a house and a big car and a bunch of clothes. Keep your expenses down, because that's going to leave your options open.
That's very interesting. I'm going to think about my 5 people I spend time with. Okay, and then our last one. Get a career coach ASAP to help you with the what and the how.
So when you were in school, you were largely on your own. It was bad to copy off of someone else's paper, right? When you get out into the workforce and you're trying to be successful, you do not have to do this all alone. If you just graduated, you should be used to learning from instructors. So find someone that can help you avoid mistakes and that can give you the how and what you should be doing, so that will accelerate your career path and help you avoid a lot of mistakes along the way.
Is that a mentor or a paid life coach? What do you...
A mentor would be great, but look, even if you have to take a couple of dollars out of your pocket and pay a career coach, it's going to pay off so much for you in the long run.
Great advice, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to all our grads. Financial planner Rob Wilson here with Money Monday every other Monday on the show.
Based on those messages that I received, I see that you guys are really trying to figure out how to make 6 figures. But the problem is, I think that you're thinking about it in the wrong way. So today I've got a framework that I want to introduce you to called the Money Tree, which I hope will help you think about earning $100,000 a little bit differently. And also by the end of it, I think you'll feel like it's not as hard as you think it is as well.